Hey everyone, Joey here for this short video. Last night, Halloween night, I finished the final Dossier. Overall, loved it. Some chapters I have mixed feelings about, but overall, loved it. So, this video is basically, we're not going to talk too much about the book in this video. That's coming, I promise. Definitely a lot of discussions about this. What's up, Wilton? Thanks for joining. By the way, this is not the winner the winner of the contest. I thought I was just being clever. Judy, love the book. I don't know if you guys got to it. Not a couple people entered the contest, so this is basically just sort of figuring out who won is, and I'll get you, as soon as I get your information and everything, I'll get the book shipped out to you as soon as I can, or as soon as it ships out. So again, loved it. Too short for life. I've read it in under 3 hours. Like, just, I didn't read it consistently. I didn't just sit down and read it, but altogether, well, about around 4, maybe a little bit less than 4 hours to get through the whole thing. Now, a lot of good information, of course. We find out a lot of information we didn't get in the series. A lot of background information. We find out what happens to certain characters. Some, some we were waiting, we expected to see but never got to, and some we didn't see enough. So really like the book overall, and we're going to get into it. There is going to be a full discussion about the final Dossier, and at some point, this is going to be a large undertaking, but there's going to be, when I finally get to reading it, or maybe I'll just buy the audiobook for the Secret History, we're just going to do a massive, like, Tammy Preston free-for-all. Speaking of which, one of my favorite things, like non-spoilery things about this book, is Tammy. Her personality comes through in this book. We get to figure out a little bit more about who Tammy is and sort of her quirks. She's a professional through and through, but we kind of get this. I don't know, this. We learn as much as we learn about the other characters. I think we learn about Tammy through this book as well, which I thought was super interesting, and her insight, and it's interesting to see Twin Peaks and all the happenings of Twin Peaks through the lens of a woman character, seeing this almost like as like a third party, because Tammy wasn't like directly in. I mean, she was directly involved with Diane and Gordon and Albert. She was brought in kind of towards the end of the series into the Blue Rose Task Force, but it's really cool to see like the woman perspective about this, especially Tammy, since we know Tammy is sort of a badass, or at least in the series we're led to believe she's a badass, but like in this you really see the way she connects things in her brain at work. So I think not only is this cool insight into a lot of the characters we know and love, it's cool to learn a little bit more about Tammy herself. Okay, so without any further ado, I have a couple of the participants' names in a randomizer, and basically Judy's not the winner, by the way. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a random name. This is just a random name randomizing website. We had a couple people enter the contest. I was expecting more, but I know a lot of you guys live internationally, and the shipping last time I did an international contest killed me. So I will do that in the future, but this time I decided to just stay stay U.S. only, but there will be an international contest at some point. I know a lot of you guys are international. I appreciate you. I promise. There will be something coming again. So, Wilton says, I liked when she tells she becomes so overwhelmed for seeing so much evil and absurdity that makes her uneasy. It is written in a very humane, believable way. I agree. I really love the way, like, this wasn't written, I mean, there's a lot like the final dossier. I mean, The Secret History of Twin Peaks. This was more almost like a journal, Tammy. I mean, I know there was a whole mystery about who was compiling the dossier with the secret history, but now we know. We get to learn a little bit more about Tammy, especially after seeing her in the series. We get to know a little bit more about her, because I mean, Cristobal was great, but we didn't really get too much Tammy. Like, we didn't get too much background on Tammy, and we still don't get too much background on Tammy. But it's a character that intrigues me, because this is somebody that the FBI has been watching, which is, you know, paranoid and creepy to say, since she was, I believe, in middle school or high school, and all the way up through high school and college, I believe. And then they brought her in, so she's very new to this world, but she's very clever. And, you know, we see a lot of her, she's sort of really compassionate too. I really love Tammy. This is the final dossier. I don't know if we're ever gonna get more Tammy anything, but I'm really curious about this character. That it is like one of the coolest new characters that we know almost nothing about. Capto said he went to Mark Frost's book signing last night. That's awesome. And got his copy signed. And a few of the actors were there too. Who was there? Share the deets. while we're here. This is not going to be a long one. This is like not a full-on discussion of the final dossier, but I wanted to gush about Tammy a little bit, because I think I don't know. I just love her voice in this book. I know it's Mark Frost, but I love the way he wrote Tammy's voice. Okay. I'm waiting to see if Mark Frost is doing a signing in, there's a fruit fly in my room, doing a signing in New York City, because I'll definitely go to that and get a signed copy. But I don't see any announcements anywhere. I know he did for The Secret History, but I think it was weeks or months after the book came out. The guy who played Chad, that's cool. Excuse me. All right. Thanks for sharing your story, Capto. That's cool. I mean, you go to book signings, you never expect anybody else to be there except the author. Nora, I think so too. Especially going by what we know in The Secret History. But we're gonna save the full-on discussions for a later date. I promise. Maybe 100 people. You know, I'm always surprised by any Twin Peaks crowd. I always think when I went to see Kyle, there were hundreds. It was really, but I also live sort of right next to New York City, and I believe she lives in New York City. So like it was just a whole bunch of like people in New Jersey and New York City just, you know, coming out to see him in this like very almost like out of the way, not really out of the way, but sort of just not on the beating path liquor store. But it was a huge liquor store. There was hundreds of people. I never would have expected that kind of turnout. But it was the week before the finale, so it was still fresh in everyone's minds. Yeah, I agree with you, Kai. The Judy part was great. I feel I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say that a lot of the stuff that was cleared up in this book, we all kind of guessed at a certain point, which, I mean, it's not a bummer, but you always want it to be something sort of out of your realm of expectation, but we kind of nailed it and pretty early on too. So take that as you will. The space was kind of small, though. Maybe it was oh, I see. So it was just a lot for what it was. It was a costume contest. Hey, Capto, if you're on Twitter and you want to, if you have any pictures or something, shoot them my way. Of course, you see my my little thing, Twitter handle up here. Yeah, I think most of us guessed that Audrey thing. I wanted it to be almost like a flash sideways kind of thing, but that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say whole book plays like that. If one looks close, we get a sense of closure or small bits thrown at us. Most of all, either confirms things yeah, pretty much. I agree with that. All right, let's do this little giveaway. I don't know if anybody that actually entered the giveaway is even in the chat right now, but I guess they'll find out when I contact them. Jerry Horn section was hilarious. Very short, but hilarious. All right, so let's just figure out who won this thing. If more people had entered, I would have given out more copies, but I know a lot of you are international or already have a copy, so and it's not like a signed copy or anything, but let's see who won this. All right, so Judy is like just a funny name I put in there. So I'm gonna pick a random name, and it's gonna pop up at the bottom, and we'll see who won. Coolman11, you're getting a free copy of the final dossier. Just hope you're subscribed. Obviously you commented, that's where I got the name from, and hopefully you're in the United States, so congratulations. I know there's not a lot of fanfare here, but Coolman11 is the winner of our copy, his copy of the final dossier. Now I know Amazon is like super on back order, but it'll get to you as soon as I can. Hopefully, I'm going to contact you to get your information, keep it under wraps, and you'll get a free book. Capto says he didn't take photos. I got you. No worries, I was just curious. Thanks for sharing your story, though. I appreciate it. It's cool. Any little Twin Peaks encounter is always fun to hear about. Yeah, our winner is Coolman11. So I don't think he's watching right now. I feel like he would have reacted, or they, or she, whomever. But yeah, that is our winner. I've been doing videos with Cameron at Obnoxious and Anonymous where we discussed like sort of our pre-dossier thoughts. That video, you can go watch that. Obviously we hadn't read really much yet except the Shelley chapter, some of the early pages that were released, so you can watch that if you want. But we're going to discuss, I'm going to discuss, I might get Danielle on to discuss this book in its entirety, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, Donna's chapter. Also, I'm going to throw this out there, guys, to those of you who have the book. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but and I thought it was just like me being gross, but on certain pages it looks like there's like smudges or something. And I talked to my friend Harold about this too, who has also been on the channel before. And I would hold it to the screen or to the camera, but I'm not sure it would do it justice. But I don't know, I feel like these dark pages in between hold some kind of something. I might just be going out on a limb here, but I would him and I were thinking, if you take a black light to one of these pages, especially the page, you know, especially the page at the end with the woodsman and, you know, the Sarah jumping man image and Bob. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's something hidden in this book. As like there was in The Secret History. So just putting that out there. Maybe you have to like do an invert, invert the picture, because I don't know, I was thinking like looking at this, and of course the phrase "got a light" came to mind. So I'm thinking maybe if somebody has like I was thinking about just buying one, but if somebody has like a black light or something and just like shows them over the pages, maybe we'll see a little something extra. I might be totally wrong, and it might just be me wanting more, but there might be something hidden. Seems like Kai also thinks so. Oh, he read from the book. I see. It's cool. I really want to meet Mark Frost. I just want to say hi because I love Mark Frost. I know some people don't agree, but I'm all for like a Mark Frost solo Twin Peaks or something in the world. It doesn't have to be Twin Peaks, but I'm all for that. Capto, I did read it. I read the whole thing yesterday as well. Your pages before, yeah. I noticed the Woodsman and Bob and the Jumping Man and Sarah. Bolton says it's all black and white, no funny smudges. I don't have a black light because I don't have a black light, but I'm really curious to see if there's something extra in those pages. This could be like a conspiracy or something, and there's nothing there, but I feel like that could be one last cool thing. I don't know if anybody's discovered it yet, but I was just looking at them. I'm like, I can't tell if these are my finger smudges. Kevin Pereira from Attack of the Show, I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched. He used to call it Portuguese finger grease, and I'm Portuguese. But who does Judy want to marry, I wonder? Yeah, because if Judy is, Queen Devil, but who's I mean, I guess the devil's the devil. I don't know if we've ever seen the devil, or what did they call it? All right, we're getting into the discussion, but I want to do, we really could just do a video about the last couple pages alone. What's the name of, what was the name they gave the devil? Baal, I think. So, yeah. All right, guys. This is Wilton. They just YouTube just hid your comment because you say Beelzebub equals Bob. I don't think they want you talking about Satan on YouTube, but I'll allow it because it's Twin Peaks. All right, guys. So we have the winner of our contest. People are gonna think this is like a Satanist channel. Whatever. We have our winner, Cool Man. I'm gonna contact him. Hopefully, he's a U.S. resident or lives in the U.S. at least. Send him his book, and then tomorrow maybe we'll have a full discussion. If you guys are up to it, let me know. I know you. I recognize a lot of your names. Love you guys. See you very soon. A lot to talk about. I wish we could do it tonight. Oh, I know. I'm not like anti. Trust me. I've done my reading. Capto. I've done my reading. All right, thanks, Nora. Love you too. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Bring all your ideas to the plate. And do remember that capdo. If I'm saying that right, capdo. All right. Catch you guys later.